Hello, everyone. I'm Shayne again, and this is Jenny again, and we are the BRAYNE CAST team back for another episode.
Thank you so much for the amazing introduction. Today, I have a few questions. First, we're going to talk about how both me and you, because we touched on this last time, both me and you kind of do an assessment of businesses when we start working with them. And
Mhm.
I don't think that's an accident. I think that that's something that's methodical. It's to get all the information that we can. And so I kind of want to talk about how you go about it, and then I'll talk about how I go about it because I think that both me and you have different strategies. We have different goals and
Yeah.
cover a lot of territory. Like if me and you did like the raptor attack type thing, I think we would actually like I would cover like half the ground because I normally cover things like issues, problems, things that bother people, and I don't know why I bring it out of people. I don't know why when somebody starts talking about their business, they immediately go straight to their problems with me. And thanks. I've been talking to you 5 minutes and I know exactly what's wrong. I mean, like I don't know why.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think that the way that you assess businesses, do you like go through a checklist? Do you have like a set method that you go through? What's your kind of end goal? What are
I,
your points
I
on
I
that?
don't really have any set checklist. I go in and I find if you have a set checklist, you finding yourself reading the checklist and not really paying attention to what the customer is saying. So what I do is I just go in and have a conversation. I get to know them. I get to know them as a person. I ask a lot of questions. I ask them what's going on with their business, what's still going very well with their business. I like to know I don't like to just dwell on what's not working. I want to know what's working, and I can utilize what's working well to kind of extract how they work and how to better help them with
I
what's
think
not going so well.
I think that how a business owner works is kind of that's the secret sauce right there because I've
Mhm.
worked with different business owners and some do things like this and some like manage in a totally different way. It has to do with hiring, firing, how they spend their money, if they budget or do any kind of like look at their financials. A lot of business owners just kind of go on their hunches and work on that and work on their bank account. I mean, that's how, and work on sales only. So there's a lot of different places that business owners kind of meander from and understanding how they work. So my methodology is I think that's interesting. I started in accounting a long time ago and understanding how people make business, it somehow in my mind makes me think that I will be a master and masterful at making a crap ton of money in the future. Because
Mhm.
I know how they all do it. I know how the best of the best make money. Of course, I'm gonna have a little bit is gonna pass down and I'm gonna understand how they're actually making it. But it doesn't come down to, like you said, like set questions. It's more
Mhm.
like how they manage it, how they do it themselves, their own um it's their personality that comes through
Yeah.
with it. So what I notice is when I talk to people, so if I'm doing like an assessment to start working with their business, I definitely have a set of set questions. Um, but I have to know how many bank accounts you have. I have to know how many employees you have, and these are data points for me. These are endpoints. And then
Mhm.
eventually I assess the endpoints and see, what are we missing in this information? So you said you have 15 employees, and then this, and this at the end of the month, we do this. There's a bunch of missing information, or there's a ton of information, and nobody's connecting the dots, or just a lot of different things, but pretty set standard. General how does your operation run, so
Yeah.
passes to this and then I approve this, that type of thing. I'm the only one that makes purchases, or she's the only one that makes purchases, so I run through a pretty standard list to understand the operations. Understanding the sales process I normally don't even dabble into. Like I don't really need to understand how the sales are made, and that's probably to my detriment, but when they already have income flowing in, I see it already they're already at 30 grand a month or 100 grand. I already see that. I don't need to know how they built the wheel. Like they've already done that. So I usually like that conversation is kind of skipped over for me. And that's probably
Yeah.
somewhere where you're like, I mean, I used to be
Yeah.
when I did SEO, I was interested in that. I was more, oh, so how are you getting customers? What is your main selling points? I used to be more into that side. So with what you ask questions about, I'm thinking that that's kind of the territory that you are in, and I'm in kind of the back end, what happens afterwards. That's what I'm thinking. Because
Yeah. So what I do is I kind of when I ask a question and I get an answer that's for instance like not really something that might be a pain point for the customer. That's when I ask more questions about that particular thing because the pain points of the customer is what I'm there to solve. So whatever bottlenecks they have, like if you let somebody talk about their business, and people like to talk about their business, they'll tell you what's going on. They'll tell you where their pain points are, what their bottlenecks are, and then that's where we as Brain AI can come in and help and solve the pain and relieve the pressure and give them back time, give them back more money, give them back better strategies in order to keep and retain their clients.
yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's where that's where you cover different territory than I do. So the reason why I think it's important that we understand how we assess businesses is because we're going to have people on this podcast. I want to have
Mhm.
a ton of people. I want to have a lineup. I know we haven't really started pushing yet, but the DMs are going to start, everybody. If I've seen your business online, I'm going to ask if you want to come on the podcast and, you know, give your 10 minutes, put you on the stage, you'll get some cool edited video and you'll get a chance to let people know who you are. And so I think it's cool to understand where we're coming from in kind of different directions. We're going to have different conversations, you know.
Mhm.
So what my whole thing is, do you think that we should, when we ask somebody to come on, should we do like a pre-interview, not a pre-interview, because interview sounds stupid. Should we get on a call with somebody before, like, so if we ask them for 10 minutes, come on our podcast for 10 minutes, explain your business. Your business is cool. You've
Yeah.
looked really successful lately. What are you doing that's so much different? Do you think that we should get on the phone with them before and kind of ask them first? Or does that water down the conversation that's real? What do you think?
Well, like what I plan to do is not really ask them the questions first, but just give them an idea of what questions we're going to be asking and give them an idea of time to prepare. So just give them an idea of how the show is going to flow, so to speak.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so I wrote down a few different things. Do you think that when we're asking people questions that do you ever lead somebody to like the line of questioning that like a lawyer is going to ask questions and then make you say, I don't know if he was wearing a white shirt, and that kind of leads them down this path. So if somebody says, well, I don't know how much margin I have on this X type of marketing. And you find them in that, oh, you don't know. And that's a very salesy leading somebody down the path type of line of questioning. Do you do that when you're in regular conversations? Like, I don't try to. I notice that I do it though. Like I
I
really
find
I
the
don't
conversation just naturally flows there. And like I said, once they tell me what's going on and where I can personally see a problem is in their business, because it doesn't take me long. I've been in business myself. I've owned multiple businesses. So I know where the bottlenecks are in most cases before I even get on the call. We're already working with a number of real estate companies. We're working with roofing companies. We're working with energy companies. So we have a pretty vast variety of different clientele. So we know where the pain is, and in our experience, most of it involves speed. So when a lead comes in, they need to be attended to right away. If you wait a day or two, they've gone somewhere else. That's just the world we live in these days. So that's where most of our systems can really help, is in regards to speed and follow up, and just taking care of the minute tasks that owners just don't have time to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like posting on social media is somewhere where we really help, response to posts on social media, and speed to lead is what we call it. So most cases, they're all the same. Like most pain points are very, very similar. They're losing money. It's leaking from somewhere. We need to plug the leak.
That's pretty crazy. I didn't think about that, the similarities. A lot of times is where I don't get answers, that I'm finding what I need to work with. So, like that, it's what the ROI is on this specific thing. And that's where it's like, oh, okay, so you do have a big blind spot. And I don't mean to say it like that. And that's I this is, people like working with me after they start working with me because of these. I bring this to the light. I like to talk about the hard things. But then I
Well,
take
that's our
care.
job.
Well,
We got
yeah,
to fix the problems.
yeah, so then to actually, you have to admit it, yes, I admit I have a problem. And you have to bring it in front of yourself and say, okay, what really needs to happen here? And so having somebody that actually takes care of those things. So with what I do, I think, okay, people charge so much per hour for somebody like a lawyer, right? You're spending $5,000 for them to send a letter, and it usually doesn't go anywhere. Usually you could have represented yourself with a lawyer, and you're like, shoot, if only the legal system were different. I don't know how it is where you live, but where I live, that's usually what it is. You're $3,000 to $5,000 in, and they haven't done anything. And so when I look at, okay, how do I want to present myself in comparison to somebody that is going to charge you that $5,000 ticket to basically be the stooge that stood there and represented you? And
Mhm.
it's like, well, you wish that the lawyer would solve this problem. You wish that, oh, I just looked, they took a look at it. And there are some good businesses and good business owners out there that really just take everything, because it really encompasses a lot of things. If you have issues in this area, you probably have issues in this area, and this area, right? And it just kind of trickles down. And some business owners, or service companies, they'll take that and be able to really solve it. And it's like,
Mhm.
once you find somebody that is going to take those extra steps, that's when you're like, okay, this is a good company to work with. And so I'm like, how do I portray what we do as that, where you're able to still have, okay, this is a $5,000 service, $10,000 service, and you are kind of in that level of sale, and the problems that you solve are exactly what that person needs. And that's really hard to communicate, because usually with like higher ticket, you're like, oh, okay, this is maybe going to work, or I'm going to try this. I've tried something like that before. So what I'm hoping is to really, when we're talking to people, and this is on sales calls, presenting ourselves here on the podcast, is that we dive into these problems, because it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of figuring out, where business owners doing something else. Business owners focused on sales. Business owner is focused on his main clients, and
Yep.
don't have time for the marketing. Don't have like, it's not that you don't have time. I hired somebody that I have the girl on staff that does this, and she said she's going to post, and she posts, and and that's okay. She said she's going to follow up. We have 60 leads, people that are messaging us for our service. And the guy, he doesn't work all that often. I kind of hired him part-time, because I'm busy.
Whereas AI follows up immediately. I wanted to just circle back to your lawyer post, because I have a friend that I grew up with, actually went to high school together. He was dealing with a legal issue uh, based on his property and the city wanting to expand the road onto his property and take away some of his front lawn. And he came to me for some help, and we actually built him a custom law-based GPT. And he is for now fighting for more money with that system that we built him. So
What? How cool.
yeah. So we can build custom GPTs for any legal system. We just have to program it with proper prompting.
Oh, that's cool. That's
And
so
that's
cool.
any area of the law too. Like we can specialize in defense, we can specialize in family, we can specialize in whatever the problem is. So there's really not very many issues that a client might have that we can't solve or help them solve, whether that be business, family, legal, doesn't matter.
Well, it's hard. Let's say you move to an area, even different state laws, and here in the US, you're going to have state laws that are going to bother you. But if you move to a different country and you really do have to get some legal work done, you're looking at
Mhm.
who knows how much because they already take advantage of you. You have just walked into the repair shop as the person with, that needs their car fixed, and they can charge you anything that they want because they know you need it, right? That's
Or you can come to us, and if you're already a client, we help you for free. If you're not, then we charge you a little bit of money for a custom GPT.
They're charging you the $5,000 pretending to do it, and you're the one, like the only people that I know that really have been successful with working with lawyers. First off, if you are rich and have a legal team and have somebody that's like on for some random thing, usually it's the person that cares the most doing the legwork. It's the person who is going to get
Mhm.
screwed if they don't
So
win,
you might as well
and they
just do
have
it
to do the
yourself
legal
with a
work.
custom
And then,
GPT.
okay, they are doing it themselves. Yeah, and they're paying somebody that $5,000 to be the stooge or the stand,
Yeah.
the paper doll, you know. Thanks for being my paper doll
And it's
lawyer,
usually his
you know.
assistant that does all the work too. It's
Yeah.
not even a lawyer, it's like a legal secretary or paralegal, but they still charge you. They pay the paralegal like $30 an hour, but charge you 200.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not no more.
That could be really amazing in different countries too. That
Yeah,
could really be.
we can program the GPT in any country because all we have to do is utilize that country's laws and program it.
I was talking to my daughter. She is a little anti AI. And I was talking to her about, okay, back in the day, about him anyway, a monster, but you had Netflix who would look at the algorithm and then, do based on your taste, based on your preferences, and that turned into huge data. And that was okay. 20 years ago we didn't have this big data, being a data analyst as like a profession. And now a lot of people, they'll even go to school for it and work for a big corporation, but that kind of trickled down into usually people that are working with data for businesses that me and you work with. We don't cross over into corporate world. I like working with people and business owners.
Mhm.
So in that realm, you have people that work in marketing, right? So your Google guy, your ads guy that does the
Yep.
data. You have, maybe if you do e-commerce, then you end up being the data guy. Or, you have somebody that maybe is on staff, but that level where somebody can type in and ask what data points can I really pull from this information is amazing. You really take somebody from being a no data, I'm just helping as an intern, to use all of the information that all of these data analysts have. And then you actually can get somewhere. You can get really cool insights, really cool reporting. I mean, AI is taking somebody that's intern level and making them a professional. and it
Yep.
can be in almost anything. And I'm talking to her and she's like, yeah, but it's, using so much energy. Well, they're gonna have it in space soon. It's gonna be they're gonna be computing in space, and it's not when it doesn't use any energy, what are you gonna have against AI? That it helps us become smarter as a civilization. What are you gonna have against it? What,
That
don't you
sounds like
people?
Matrix programming to me.
Example, yeah. The whole climate change thing is,
Oh, that's
yeah,
garbage.
yeah.
It's not
Um,
even a thing. But they
what did I
they get they get them when they're young.
Oh, I read on one of these posts earlier that the NGO industry was like a $15 trillion industry. So it moves like a country, basically. Something along that line. Like $15 trillion massive NGO, like that's a machine. I'm sorry, but does that look like the machine to you guys? That looks like the machine to me. So, yeah.
Well, it's like rich people getting rich off scam.
Yeah, let's go help the environment and buy my leather purse. Like, that's stupid. That's so stupid.
Well,
Go.
they keep saying the ice caps are melting and that's going to cause problems. I don't like, I, for one, if I have an ice cube in my drink and it melts, is my drink going to overflow? I don't think so. It's not going to cause a problem for it to melt. Oh,
It doesn't,
well.
yeah, because ice is the expanded version.
Yeah. So it's just
So
gonna
if
it's just
it
gonna
melts,
melt and it won't even raise the water level. It's already in the water.
drilling a bunch of oil, right? I think that toxic toxic chemicals are obviously bad. Manufacturing stuff is bad. So basically, everything in our lives is already bad. And we like wear it on our skin, put it on our face, we wear it, sitting on it. It's
It's
all
in
bad.
our food,
It's in our food. Oh, and that's the worst. We're not,
depending on what you eat. I only eat meat, so it's not my food, but most people it's in their food.
how has the food been out there?
I just went to a buffet with Graham today at the Palm, and they have steak, roast beef. It's all free.
That's cool. I might get roast beef today. They have kind of the free thing here where you just eat whatever. You go to these restaurants, and as long as you've reserved,
Yeah.
yeah. But this sandwich shop over here has a big ass roast beef. It's not this big. That's exaggeration, but it looks good. It's cooking under the light or whatever. That's probably what I'm gonna do today. But yeah, AI being a bad thing is it's complicated, and that's a matrix attack. That's a mainstream media attack on our youth, because AI makes
It depends on the AI though. Like, so there's some things that Palantir in particular are doing with surveillance that I think is a very bad thing, but I don't think there's any stopping them. That's a whole nother conversation. The way they installed JD Vance, and like nobody knew who JD Vance, and then he became vice president, and he's set to be the next president. He was installed by Palantir, but yeah, yeah, we probably shouldn't get into that on this podcast. That's a conversation for another podcast, I
you
think.
know,
Maybe
we
one with
if
Joe
ever we
Rogan.
make it, we're gonna make it. Well, I was talking to you earlier. I'm all, hey,
Yeah.
let's make this popular. What do I gotta wear? What should I put on lipstick? Like, what's wrong with your face? Oh, don't do it, Jen. Don't do it. It's not you. Just don't.
Swollen. What's wrong with you?
My face looks swollen because my face was this close to the camera. It was just not lighting. I swear to God, there's no filters right now. I turned all the filters off just because I was so pissed. Like, yeah. Oh, all of
Okay.
a sudden I'm on Zoom and the filters work and now I'm okay. No, I'm fine with who I am. Pisses me off, but I mean, people are going to watch and either drop off in 5 seconds because we talk about business stuff too much, or we drone on and have these like, what are they like conversations that kind of linger, like they lose. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people do podcasts where they have 600 podcasts and, oh, haven't you seen my 600 podcasts? I've never even heard of it. Some podcasts just, I mean, they're interesting. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't really know too much about the installed JD Vance other than he's got a cute face and it works for him. But I'm a girl, so that
yeah,
would be something I know.
yeah. It
Yeah.
seems like he wears makeup too. It looks like he always
The
looks like he's
eyeliner
wearing
is to
eyeliner or
appeal to the
something.
youth
It's
that wear
kind of
eyeliner
gay.
and paint their nails.
It's gay.
All boys do that.
Not this one. I'm one of those weird old fashioned men that doesn't wear makeup and thinks men are men and women are women and you can't change sexes and you should use your own bathroom and play in your own sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things when what boys and girls were, you would have weird situations there because the boy and girl thing is your first holding hands, your first kiss on the cheek, your first, playing with your friends, being girls playing with your friends. That those things happen naturally. Those things wouldn't happen if we had all those lines blurred. That's a boy. You don't talk to boys like that. That just like those regular little manners things would be out the window. Okay, so you can say anything to boys. There was this girl in the elevator here who she was such trash. And she just acted like she had TikTok going on at all time. These guys come in, and it was kind of funny at first. And she goes, "Ooh, muscle man." And I'm, "Oh, we have room in here, right?" I was just kind of joking with her. And I'm like, "Yeah, come in, we got room." And then she says something about going to the bathroom, like about sharding or something gross that women shouldn't say and like literally started because she thinks that she's saying stuff that's so funny that's going to get attention because that's how getting attention is and blah 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 and tits or she's wearing actually something pretty cute if she would act classy she could make that look classy but she just the whole thing was trash and so
I
my
hope she
daughter's all
sees
laughing.
this.
You are trash, shut up, like this is awful. Yeah. So people kind of bring it on themselves and think that it's all about getting the media attention and say whatever to get all these clicks. And that's awful. They're just being weird to do that. That's why they're, oh, I don't have to be normal. You can't make me be normal. I just have to be different. And I get that being different is good. But, it shows that you're talentless when you have to do stuff like that. It shows that you're desperate. It shows that you're needy and you'll do anything for attention. Just it sucks. And especially like if you have to have your views out there that bad, it's just I don't know. Thinking that you have to have a phone in front of your face at all times or thinking that is just this crazy mentality right now that all these kids and hopefully I'm pulling my daughter out of it because she's just barely 18. So, I mean, she's really pro not letting kids have cell phones young, which I think is very smart.
She
Like,
should be pro driving school.
my daughter needs to be pro driving school. She definitely does. I want to dismantle her car on accident. I want to be like, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with it." And just keep doing that. Like, she gets one thing fixed and I just what I kind of want to do because she's, not driving right now and that tones her down. She's always at home.
Yeah.
So good. She's not getting in trouble. She's not, out doing TikToks with her friends. And that's what they do. They go around and clicks and do TikToks.
Yep.
Talk about climate
Stupid
change. Yeah,
dances.
stupid dances. Well, and that's kind of cute. But talk about climate change. I told her, go, you want to be in politics? Go be in politics then. Because she's smart enough that she could actually make a point and be asked questions, with some type of character and not just a brainless, thing. So I think that it'd be good, but yeah, the whole
The world doesn't need more politicians.
no political science degrees, though. What would happen if we didn't have that?
Nothing.
Shouldn't there just be
The world
law?
the world would be better.
Shouldn't it just
I think we should go back to like the old Western ways where men could fucking ride around on a horse and shoot people and take what they want. But then there'd be no internet, there'd be no AI, there'd be no nothing. Just
No.
live life. Who would pay all the taxes?
Back in the day, banks had control. It was banks that had control because you're moving from like that kind of trade me some food for a horse or whatever, I don't know what they actually did, but they had some kind of trade industry. And
Well,
then
back then, too, the banks were backed. So money was backed by gold until 1970. And in 1971, they took away the gold backing dollar. And that's when the whole financial system started to crumble. You didn't notice it back then, but we're about to hit the end of where it all blows up because when the money is printed and there's nothing backing it, you create a slave system, which is where we are now. So they can print money. We have to go work for it. They print it out of thin air. So
yeah.
how are we not slaves? We work for something that's worth nothing.
Who put that post out there that yeah, the government doesn't make money off your taxes. The government
Yeah.
makes money by printing money. That is
Yeah.
how they make money. And it's like, oh shit, we are fucked. We are
Yeah.
oh F-bomb. I'm gonna have a little black box come up. I'm gonna be like, hey, put the little black box. No F-bombs. We're doing this without any F-bombs. Yeah, but I saw this post the other day about how it's all just printed money. And I mean, that's control. That's for, like you said,
Yes.
forcing us to work because we have to work. And then for stuff like this, which, you know, this is cruises are cool and traveling is cool, but a lot of people like this is it. This is like the end of the year. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
cruise.
One once a year you get a break, you get to go do something, and
Yeah.
then it's back to your slave